Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for joining me once again for one of these Magic the Gathering box openings. And similarly to how we did one of the previous ones, we are going to be bringing it back some superheroes, hoping to get some good things. Now, we did get a couple of our comic book arts, and it'd be great to get more of them. Likewise, we did not get a Mind Stone in the previous one, and that would be kind of high on the list, though we did get a couple of the Jumpstart Booster mythics that were, quite a bit there. They were up there as some of the most expensive cards that we had gotten within that pack, and it'd be great to get some more of those as well if we would be able to. Just trying to get as many as we could, just because the person that I normally get my packs from was not able to get some jump starts right away, and so he's taken some time to do it. Maybe there's just some printing issues with them that are keeping them from coming out. We'll have to see, but at the moment there, we are going to be opening up some more of these. Hopefully it'll be a little bit quicker than the previous one, just because we've already looked at some stuff. So why don't we get right on in to see what we've got. So pack number one. I was very happy with the stuff we got last time. I even called getting that Wolverine as well as the Squirrel Girl. So I'd like to be able to get the Mind Stone in this. Not this one in particular, but in this box would be really nice. Rub this a little bit for luck, and maybe get one of the other big mythics from the Jumpstart boosters. Okay, rubbed it for luck. Hopefully we can get something good. Stolen Stark Tech, we saw this one before. It's a flash artifact, really nice. Goes in and is able to give a creature indestructible for the turn. +1/+0, but, being able to get that combat trick in to keep them alive is nice. Ultron Drone, 3 mana for a 2/3 artifact creature robot villain with power up 6 generic mana. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on this, and then you create a 2/2 colorless robot villain artifact creature token. So you make essentially not another copy of him, but you get another robot villain as a creature token, which is kind of nice. Get some more of them there. Play it out for 3, and essentially you play 3 more of just any generic on the same turn it comes out, and it becomes a 4/5, and you get another 2/2, so not the worst in terms of mana, but it is just going to be generic stuff, so that's the only problem with it. Burrow backup, and it looks like we've got Moon Knight, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Luke Cage, Power Man. So is that Luke Cage's name, Power Man? Was not sure. 4 and a white. Sorcery, create 2 3/2 white hero creature tokens with vigilance, and it's got basic land cycling 2. Not that great, I'll pass up on it, but it is nice to see the Moon Knight. We got team tactics before, teamwork of 1, tap a creature with power 1 or greater, and you give 1 creature double strike, and if it's cast using teamwork, you also give it trample, which is really nice, get through with a lot of extra damage. Villainous Hideout, we'd gotten this one before, can tap for any color if it's for a villain spell or an ability of a villain source, can tap for generic mana regularly, or you can pay 3 and tap it to have 1 villain connive, but only as a sorcery. This is why we prefer, I think it was Avengers Tower, which did the same thing for heroes, except on the 4, it was giving some sort of ability, I think it was, or just to draw a card, something like that, but you could do it at instant speed. Crossover, Collaboration, 2 and a red for an instant, teamwork 2, so tap down creature or creatures with power 2 or greater, exile top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn, you may play them, so impulse draw 2. If this was cast using teamwork, you also get a treasure, so a little bit easier to play it as well. Not that bad. I mean, it is a common, but it's not that bad to get 2 impulse drawn and then an extra treasure. I'll play it. Infinity Formula, so maybe the thing that's helping out getting Captain America up to the Super Soldier Serum. 2 and a white, artifact equipment. When an ETB is attached to the target creature you control, equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has whenever it attacks, you gain 2 life. Yeah, not that bad. It's not when it ETBs, you automatically attach it, which is always nice. Make them a little bit bigger, gain the life. Maybe that'll be good in a life gain deck. Storm, Shaker of Skies, 4 and double green for a 4/3 legendary mutant hero with flying, and when Storm ETBs, you destroy up to one target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. That's nice, you know, a little bit of destruction on a stick. It's just a little bit expensive for its cost, and we did get this one, the last one, you know, same type. We'd like to be able to finish up the scene there of Armanzola, Biofanatic, to legendary artifact creature, scientist villain, can pay 3 and tap it to create another black villain, but you can only do that if there are 2 more creatures in your graveyard, which isn't that bad. Another island where we've got all of our people going in for the rescue on this bus that is going off, which I've heard from the FIFA tournaments that a lot of Europeans thought that the yellow school bus was just something in the movies, that it wasn't actually real. So now they know. First rare is going to be, first rare is going to be a mythic, and this is going to be our She-Hulk. Now, this isn't the comic book art, but this is one of our alternate artworks for it. Very, very nice. Starting off with a good mythic. I know that this is one of the more expensive ones, but 1 and a white for a legendary 2/3 legendary human advisor hero with your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Well, that's always nice. You get a little bit of a Grand Abolisher effect. And for 3, a green and double white, you can either play it on its backside, or you can transform Jennifer Walters only as a sorcery to turn her into the sensational She-Hulk, which this looks like it might be part of a another scene card here. I have 6/6 legendary gamma hero with reach and trample that your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, so it still maintains that Grand Abolisher effect that the front does, which again, I think that's why it's so much. Whenever a creature you control is dealt damage, you may have the sensational She-Hulk deal that much damage to any target. Do this only once each turn. Okay, any creature you control is dealt damage, so like, if you can put this in an enraged deck, I know that a lot of dinosaurs have it, but it's like you put this in an enraged deck and it's like, oh yeah, you know, like I intentionally hurt my dinosaurs to get effects off of them, but then also have sensational She-Hulk deal that damage to another thing, and then your opponents also can't cast spells on your turn. Yeah, that's a very good card. Oh yes. Thank you very much. I will absolutely take that. So starting off very strong with our first card being a really good mythic there. Thank you very much. Next rare is going to be a Galvanic Iteration, which is actually one that I really, really liked from the Commander deck, so I'm glad to get it here. This might be a repeat maybe from, I think it might be from a Innistrad block maybe, or something, but I still like it. Blue and a red, instant. Whenever you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, you copy it. Choose new targets for the copy, but you can also flash it back for 1 a blue and a red, which is also really, really nice. So being able to copy your spells, and then you can copy a spell and then potentially copy a second one from your graveyard is nice. Now, I did see that the mythic Bilbo that's going to be coming out in The Hobbit has an ability that lets you cast things from anywhere other than your hand for 1 less, so something from your graveyard flashback cost might be really good with them. Now, he is mono blue, so you'd have to play him in a deck that has blue and red in it, but that could be an interesting little additional effect on it there. So, hey, you know, like that. Thank you. I'll take more of that. And looks like we got a comic book art style here of Avengers Under Siege. Looks like some of the villains are rising up to do some dastardly deeds. You know, maybe, what is that there? Instead of dirty deeds done dirt cheap, you know, dastardly deeds are, I'm trying to see it, because it's like in JoJo, they had to alter the name to something like filthy act done at a reasonable cost or something like that. So right here, I'm Dirty Dan. 2, a black and a red for when it ETBs, you create 2 2/1 black villain creature tokens with menace. Okay, some token generation is nice. First upkeep afterwards, this deals 2 damage to each non-villain creature in each opponent. So a little bit of, not a board wipe, but, you know, can take care of a lot of smaller things. So good in a villain deck. and then the turn right before it sacks, you create a treasure token for each villain you control. So you could potentially create a lot of treasures off of this in a villain deck. So absolutely good for that. So Norman Osborn or just any other black-red villain deck, definitely an addition to be able to put onto that. So that's a good one for me to be able to get. Next one up is going to be Fight to the Death from our bonus sheet. And it looks like, yep, it looks like that's going to be not our final card. So this looks like it might just be a, oh, nope, it is. So we got one more after this. But Fight to the Death, red and a white for an instant, destroy all blocking creatures and all blocked creatures. Okay, so that's very nice. You know, try to get rid of a lot of things. So if you could swing in with a lot of your smaller things and have your opponent block with bigger things. So it's like, oh, they're getting rid of them there. And you're like, nah, actually, we're going to get rid of everything that is there. Or you could use this if one of your opponents is attacking one of your opponents, then you could be like, okay, you're attacking and blocking, and there's going to be some sort of trades, or might try to get along with that, and then you're just like, oh yeah, like all the blocking and blocked creatures get destroyed. That's not too bad. I mean, for a red and a white, it's a little bit limited in what it can do in terms of its destruction, but I mean, it's still a nifty little piece that you could potentially do. And we didn't get this insect token last time, probably for Ant-Man and a soldier featuring the Royal Guard for Wakanda. And our final card is, final rare is going to be Fing Fang Foom. Okay, so unfortunately we did get this one the last one. It was the same extended, just not in foil, but we did get another one here. 2 double red for a 3/5 legendary alien dragon villain with flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets an artifact or land, you copy it, can choose new targets for the copy, and you put 2 +1/+1s on him. So the thing that I thought is like, hey, a lot of destruction spells of like destroy target artifact or destroy target land there's a lot of those in red, so you could do those to make this one bigger, but also just to copy them so that you could destroy multiple lands at the same time, which could be nice, but, again, your friend group might not necessarily enjoy that. So definitely the Rubbing for Luck gave us our Jennifer Walters there. Starting off with a mythic is always nice. Again, looking for 6 minimum if we can, but it'd be great if we got 8 or more like we did in the last one. So, starting off with this one here, we've got Hydra Assault Robot, 1 in a red, 1/3 artifact creature robot villain. Whenever another villain and or artifact you control ETBs, this does 1 damage to target opponent. Well, good in an artifact deck, good in a villain deck. Get more of those ones there. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit each opponent there, but you can still do a little bit of damage to, one opponent there, one that might be a little bit trickier to get through. That's fine. Definitely a playable card, even in common. Atlantean Cavalry, 2 and a blue for a 3/2 merfolk soldier with vigilance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you put a +1/+1 on this creature. Not the most amazing. I believe, I can't remember, I think Namor the Submariner that we got in the last one there might let us draw a second card. I'm not too certain there, but just making this one a little bit bigger, there's probably other merfolks that are better to put into the deck. Rapid Rescue. 1 green for an instant. Mill 2 cards. You may put a permanent from among them into your hand, then you gain 2. Looks like we have both Spider-Man and Iron Man coming in to try to save the day there. It's all good there. Not the most amazing. I mean, being able to mill a couple of cards there is fine for the 1 green. But I think that there's better things that you can do for the 1 mana. Supervillain Lockup, we saw this one before. It's very similar to a Oblivion Ring, just with Flash, which is nice, but it can only affect tap creatures, so that's why it costs a little bit less. Oh, Moonstone Harsh Mistress. Now, we did get this one last time, but we did want to get multiple copies of it because of this whole, whenever you discard a card, you may exile it from your graveyard. If you do, you can play it till the end of your next turn. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. So it gives you almost like super mayhem. So in decks that use mayhem, or even decks like my Angie Falconroth deck, you could use it for like the madness cost if you want to do it immediately, or if you don't have the mana to do it, you could instead wait until the next turn if you want to, because you may exile it. So you could be like, yeah, I want to play it on the next turn, so you exile it instead and play it up to that point. I think it's really, really good for an uncommon, and I really like it. So I'm glad that I got a second one because I'm actually going to be using these. Another shock, we'd seen this one, classic, 2 damage for 1 red mana, instant speed, another gallant citizen, ETBs, draw a card. We saw this one in Spider-Man. Spider-Mobile also in Spider-Man. Vehicle, 3/3, accrue 2, trample, attacks or blocks, it gets +1/+1 for each spider you control. So, I mean, if you got a lot of spiders in your deck, that would be really nice. And Avengers Tower, so again, we got the same artwork for it, but this is the one that I was talking about before. So it's not draw a card. Right here, it's 4 tap, look at the top 3 of your library. You can reveal a hero, put in your hand, rest go onto the bottom of your library. So it's just, you're going through 3 things instead of just conniving 1, which I prefer, getting through more of your deck. And we're getting this Swamp by Sylvia Liu, which I didn't recognize in the last one there. But I really like this art style that she's put on, one for each of these full art lands. I still am not entirely certain what I'm seeing in this one in terms of what's going on. I mean, obviously it's a bridge and there's a lot of police sirens, but I don't really understand what else is happening on it. But I like the art style. First rare is going to be World War Hulk. Okay, one of the first ones that was revealed to us. 3 and double green for a saga, an enchantment saga that enters you. The next red or green creature spell you cast this turn can be cast without paying its mana cost. So that's very, very good. Play in a red-green beatdown deck like Rurik Thar. You can just play one of your big creatures for free. Next upkeep, you put 3 +1/+1s on target creature you control, make it a little bit bigger. And then on the final one, you choose target creature you control until end of turn, you double its power and toughness, and it gains trample. So, each one is just, you get to play a really big red or green spell, you make one of your things bigger, and then another of your things gets double strike and trample, so dealing a whole lot of damage. Yeah, we'll absolutely take it. It's a new one there. I think that it'll be really good in like a beatdown deck, so we'll put that one in the collection. Next up is going to be from our commander decks, Winter Soldier, Reborn Avenger. 4 and a white for a 3/5 legendary human soldier hero. Whenever it attacks, you return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to its power from the graveyard to the battlefield. And if a hero enters this way, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. So it's one of those ones where you make its power a little bit bigger so that whenever it attacks, you can keep on bringing something back from the graveyard. Because it's not a cast from the graveyard, it's just you return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a hero, it gets additional +1/+1 on it. However, it's going to be good in a hero deck like we saw with the Captain America precon, but because it's looking at being bigger to bring stuff back, I could also see this in like the Tidus deck or, anything that's putting a lot of +1/+1s on things like a Traxa that's, what do you call it there, doing the not populate, but proliferate there to get more counters on this. So it gets bigger so that it attacks in, and you're like, oh, I'm going to put my creature back from the graveyard on the battlefield. It's nice. I think that it could be good, and I'm glad to get another one. Next up, we've got Hulk, Always Angry. It looks like from another one of our scene cards. 5 and double red for a 9/9 legendary Gamma Berserker hero with trample. With when it ETBs, you destroy all artifacts. Okay, so artifact removal on a stick there, so a little bit like a Vandal Blast, but I think Vandal Blast is Vandal Blast a sorcery? Because if it is, then yeah, it's about equivalent, and Vandal Blast is, I'm trying to remember if it's like 5 mana for its overcharge, so pay 2 extra mana, you get a 9/9 trampler that just has to attack each combat if able, but it also destroys your artifacts, so you got to be careful. But again, another good one for the Rurik Thar deck of, big beatdown red creature that comes in, destroys the artifacts. Yeah, I could still use that one there. Sounds good. And okay, we're going to get a foil from our bonus sheet here. Just wanted to make sure that there wasn't, the last one was, there was just one more underneath, which there is. But Black Panther's Redirection, which is going to be a copy of Narset's Reversal. I like that one there. 2 blue for an instant. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. Then return the original, the one that gets the one that was copied to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. So, something that's going to be big and impactful that they might spend a whole lot of mana on. It's not necessarily a true counter since they can play it the next turn, but you're going to be able to use its effect for it yourself there. So getting that one on a nice foil there is good. And I can see on the back here, if you can as well, this border is red, meaning that this is going to be a double-sided card. So we're not going to see what the back of this clue is yet because we want to see whatever this is, because the double-faced cards are very, very good. They're desirable. You want to get them because they're like this Jennifer Walters there. You want to get these double-faced cards. So 2 double-faced cards, one in 2 packs there, that's pretty good. So this is also the big card, so it's either going to be like an extended art, it's going to be an alternate art, it's going to be a comic book art, so a little drum roll for this one. And, oh, we got one of the good comic book artworks there. So this is, if I remember correctly, I think this is like somewhere between like another $40 to $60 card there. These are the ones that you really, really want to get. Fantastic. So we got an insect and clue on this one as well. So insects coming through for us, but we're going to get our King T'Challa. Thank you, Chadwick Boseman, for all of the service that you did, both in your role as Black Panther, but all of your other movies, as well as your contributions to just society in general and helping out people. We miss you dearly, and you were gone too soon. So, this one is for you. 1, a white and a blue for a 3/2 legendary human noble hero with flash, so you can play it at any point. And whenever a player draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. So it's got a fairy mastermind effect, so that's good. It's 1 extra mana from fairy mastermind, but both of them have flash, so you can be able to do it. So it's a bit bigger, just doesn't have flying, but still, and can't draw a card, but we haven't seen the backside yet. So for a white and a blue, you can either transform King T'Challa as a sorcery, or you can play that originally as its cost, and it looks like it only gains 1 toughness, so it's got to have a good ability to be worth it to get. Ooh, look at that Black Panther artwork there. So a little bit later, because this one is 35 cents instead for this comic, and it's in January, but Black Panther Hope Enduring, which is going to be a legendary human warrior hero again, 3/3 with flash and double strike. So you can also play, you can do the front or the back side for it, but this side is double strike. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Black Panther. Okay, so all damage, not just combat damage, all damage. So someone uses a blasphemous act, you prevent the damage on it there, which is really, really nice. And whenever Black Panther deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Now this is going to be very similar to the Knuckles the Echidna from the Sonic the Hedgehog secret lair, because it says whenever it deals damage. Now double strike means it hits twice, so if you hit them with Black Panther, you actually draw 2 cards because you get the double strike, the first strike damage, and then the regular damage in. So drawing potentially 2 cards off of this, prevent all damage from it. Ooh, this is actually like a really good target for Pariah, because Pariah's in white, and you redirect all damage that would be dealt to creatures or you onto Black Panther. That's a pretty good combo there. Just preventing all damage that would be going through. Oh boy. Yeah, that's another good, man, we started off strong with these 2 packs here. If it can keep on going with that, that'd be great, because I think probably between what we have here, and my counter will update accordingly for it, there's a good chance that we already have like $100 worth of cards. And, I was able to get these packs for, after tax, under 500. So, to get a fifth of the value within 2 packs at the very beginning is really, really nice. Okay, let's keep on rubbing for luck, because so far we've gotten 2 double-faced cards, which are some of the best ones to get already. And we got another one of those, the black villains that lets us get the extra discard. World War Hulk is good, another Fing Fang Foom, which I'm okay about, but, you know, Avengers Under Siege is good for villains. We've got some good stuff so far, honestly. We could get some better of these, because there are some good ones. Hell's Kitchen, so this one looks like it's, you know, in New York City there, you know, based around the same region. This is going to be our gain land, just in for black and red. So probably talking about like Kingpin or something like that. Futurist Forge, 1 and a blue artifact, ETBs, draw a card, 3 and a blue, sack it to draw 2 cards. You know, just being able to draw a whole lot of extra cards. If you've got well, it's only an ETB trigger for the draw card, but if you can get some sort of benefit for artifacts entering or leaving, like we saw on that that red common there, when a artifact ETBs, it deals 1 damage to an opponent. Yeah, you know, we want that to go into there. Hawkeye's Bow, now this was the big one there that brought up a lot of contention in Pauper, since it's common, and it had an infinite combo with an elf that lets you tap the elf to untap a creature, which could untap itself. That went with infinite with this, because it's 1 red and it's 1 mana to equipped. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has reach, artifact, equipment, but whenever the equipped creature becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So you play out that elf and you attach Hawkeye's Bow to it, you tap it, it deals 1 damage to untap itself, to then tap itself again, deal the damage and untap, and you just do that infinitely. And so the elf got banned because the whole reasoning was because they don't really make that sort of effect of just tapping something for no other resources other than tapping to untap something else, especially another creature. So this really can't go infinite with anything currently in the Pauper, but, you know, they said that this effect might be more common and printed in the future, whereas the elf one is not. So I think it makes sense for them to do it there. I know some people are like, we don't want you to ban old cards for new cards coming in, but, you know, they want new cards to be played as well. Super Intelligence, we saw this one last time. Enchant creature, beginning of your upkeep of the enchanted creature's controller draws a card. So you put this on one of your creatures to draw an extra card each turn during your upkeep. Now, if you've got something like Sphinx of the Second Sun or Shadow of the Second Sun, or I can't remember which one it is. There's another creature. I don't think it's Obeka, but, you know, it's something along those lines where you get an extra upkeep. Maybe it's maybe it's the blue Ishtola, not the Esper one, but I believe that there was one that gives you an extra upkeep. So, like, getting extra cards is nice from that. Truck Toss, we saw this one before. Costs 2 less to cast if you control a truck. Deals 4 damage to any target. So 2 red for 4 damage to any target is nice. And the Hulk loves tacos, so don't throw his trucks. Sith Spearmaster, we saw this one as well. Tap to draw, deals damage equal to its power to target opponent there. So if you're able to buff it up, you know, just dealing the damage to an opponent is nice. Spider Rex, we saw this one in Spider-Man. Reach Trample, Ward 2 on a 6/6. It's got a lot of same thing as like a Colossal Dreadmaw there, except it's a legendary trample and it's a spider hero in addition to being a dinosaur. The Wizard, the classic speedster, so not to be confused with the Flash or anything, but 3 and a red for a 3/3 legendary human hero with first strike and haste. You know, just going in on everything there. And we got this one as well, Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards, and we got the Thing. So we want the other ones, the Sue Storm and the Johnny Flame there. Just whenever 1 or more tokens you control ETB, you draw a card. So in a deck that makes a whole lot of tokens, you know, the one with like Academy Manufacturer, like, sure, you know, put a whole lot of them onto the battlefield, but you draw a card, and this is not a once a turn type of effect. So if you put in a lot of counters from multiple different sources, you get to draw a whole lot of extra cards. This one is pretty nice. And we get a Forest, which we have that T'Challa. I still don't know who he is battling up there, but, you know, a nice Forest for us. And first rare, Grim Reaper's Scythe. Don't know who has that one with them. But 2 and a black, legendary artifact. Whenever 1 or more creatures leave your graveyard, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. That's pretty nice because you can do that with either flashback, unearth, reviving things, utilizing them. You know, there was what white and red was using it in Lorehold, but in Sultai, from Dragonstorm, we had a lot of ones where it was, oh, you know, if something leaves your graveyard, then you get some sort of benefit. Well, you know, we can use this of like, oh, it left my graveyard, so I'm just going to get an extra 2/2, or any of those ones that it's like reassembling skeleton, you pay 2 mana or 4 mana or whatever it is, and you bring it back to the field. Well, it left your graveyard, so you get another 2/2, or it brings it to your hand, or anything like that. And you can do 3 and a black to tap, sack 2 creatures, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it, activate only a sorcery. So you could also do it with a little bit of aristocrat style of, oh, you know, I sack 2 useless tokens to bring back something that actually has use for itself, which then leaves the graveyard, so you get the black zombies, which you could use as fodder for another one of those. Yeah, that's a really good one there. I'll absolutely take that. This is going to be from one of our jumpstart packs, because the foiling regular is what you're going to get from those, whereas I think it's the extended is what we're going to get from the commander deck. So very, very good one here. I'll absolutely take that. Next up, we've got Metalwork Colossus. Now, this isn't a new one, but I really like the artwork here, where it's kind of got that Black Panther vibe to it. It's very purple. Purple being my favorite color is very nice. 11 mana. It's expensive, but we can make it cheaper for a 10/10 artifact creature construct. Costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of non-creature artifacts you control. You know, you're in an artifact deck, you're making this very, very cheap. And you can sack 2 artifacts to return this from the graveyard to your hand. So if you're playing it in some sort of artifacts, you could play it in this like Grim Reaper Scythe. This is a creature that you can use, bring it back to your hand by sacking those 2 artifacts, whether it's Vibranium in the Black Panther deck, or foods, or clues, or treasures, or whatnot there. You know, sacking just 2 generic things. It's not that difficult to do, so very good to get more of those. I'm glad to get that. And Cosmic Cube, okay, I thought that we had gotten, no. We had gotten Arc Reactor, which is also 5 mana, and we also had a black card, which is Construct a Cosmic Cube, but this is a Cosmic Cube, so it's already completed, so another mythic for us. So far, if you don't count the bonus sheet cards, we've gotten a mythic in each pack, which is really good to start off with. We're halfway to the amount that we want. This is the alternate art, or the comic book art, for a 5 mana artifact with Ward 2. So got to pay extra to get rid of it if you target it. Whenever you attack with the top 6 cards of your library, you may cast a spell from among them with mana value less than or equal to the greatest power among attacking creatures you control without paying its mana cost. The rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order. So this is a pretty good one as well. Look at the top 6, and you put 1 creature onto the battlefield. Oh, no, you may cast a spell. So it could be an artifact, or it could be an artifact. It could be instant sorcery. It could be enchantment, planeswalker. Okay, so this is good in like one of those Rurik Thar beatdown decks there, you know, get it out so that you're doing that. But also anything that's putting a lot of counters on things, like that Tidus deck, like that Atraxa deck. You know, it's generic mana, so you can put into anything there. So I think there's a lot of homes for this one here. Just being like, yeah, you know what? I just attack in with one of my big creatures. I look at the top 6 and I get to cast a spell for free. Yeah, that's so good. We'll absolutely take that. Thank you very much. That's another really good card. Like, wow, we're cooking with these packs. You know, I don't know. We'll have to see if this ends up being better than the first one. The first one, we had a lot of good stuff as well, but it'd be great to get some more good stuff here. I just wanted to check to see if, you know, our final card was going to be double-sided. It's not, but it looks like we've got a Hexproof Leviathan token as well as some food. We haven't gotten those before, so, okay, you know, add more to the collection. Bonus sheet card is going to be, so we've already gotten this Monstrous Rage, but we didn't get a foil, so you know, a bit of an unfortunate one that we already got, so we're not too happy about that, but it is foil, so it's a little bit different there, you know, added into the collection, but it would have been nice to get a foil of something new rather than something that we already had. So it's a bit unfortunate, but we'll still take it for the collection. And drumroll, please, for our final card of the pack, which is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Okay, so I know that these are kind of like a lesser-known heroes. This is one, a green and a blue. Good old Simic for a 2/2 legendary human dinosaur hero. I mean, with all of those types there, they probably fit in with the Simic really well. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, until in the turn, this base power and toughness becomes 6/6 and they gain trample. Well, not that bad. You know, green and blue, you can draw a whole lot of cards. A 6/6 with trample for 3 mana isn't necessarily that bad. Whenever an artifact you control enters, you draw a card. The ability only triggers once each turn. Okay, so try to get an artifact to get in, whether that's, you know, making food, a treasure, or anything like that, just to draw an extra card. Now it's only once each turn, but that's on each turn. So if you're able to get that in on your opponent's turn, if you're able to get it in, if you're able to get it on your opponent's turn, you get to draw a card. So that's not necessarily that bad either. It's not going to be the greatest there, but it's a decent card. I could certainly use that. Don't exactly know in what yet, but we could. Well, we've gotten 3 mythics and 3 packs so far. We've rubbed for luck each time. I mean, it'd be great if that would continue. You know, a mythic in each pack would not necessarily be that bad. Next up, we're going to have Rocks and Brutes. Don't exactly know them, but they are 4 and a black for a 4/4 human berserker villain. Menace. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you put a +1/+1 on a target creature. Okay, basically uncycling 2. Not the worst thing ever. Definitely have to play it in a deck that draws some extra cards, and honestly, for 5 mana, there's better things that you can do than this, but that's why it's a common. So maybe better in limited. Hydraulic Helper, 1 and a blue, 2/3. Artifact creature robot with defender, tap to add a blue. This mana can't be spent to cast a non-artifact spell. So, you know, put it into one of your artifact decks there. That's not that bad. Again, this says to cast a non-artifact spell. You could also use this mana to use abilities without necessarily needing that restriction there. So, you know, another potential thing for it. So, nice little one there. This is the little helper for Tony Stark. And Machine Smith Automaton, 2 and a red for a 2/2 artifact creature robot villain with trample. Whenever another artifact you control ETBs, you put a +1/+1 on this creature. So kind of similar to that other one that we saw, which was like evil red robot type of deal. But, you know, I guess another one maybe from those sets. And Wiccan Rising Magician, still don't know who he is, but we got this one in the last one. You cast a non-creature spell, you exile another target non-land, non-token permanent, you return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So you can save one of your own things, you could remove something on your opponent's board until the next turn. Very good with ETB triggers or leave the battlefield triggers, you know, very good with the ones that let you double up the ETBs, like with Panharmonicon effects there. So, you know, definitely one for me to look at there. Just any non-creature spell, you get to do that, which is nice. Ronin Shadowstalker, we saw this one last time as well. You can pay 2 life to add 2 mana of any color to spend to cast equipment spells or activate equip abilities, but only do it once each turn. You can sack an equipment attached to this creature to give -4/-4 to another creature. Not my favorite one there of, you know, the sacking the equipment, unless it's like something cheap that you can put on there. Like, I know that there's some that you create like copies of them, or, you know, like their generic token equipments there. Contract Hero, 2 and a red, 2/3 human mercenary hero. ETBs, get a treasure token. Whenever this attacks, you may sack an artifact or discard a card. If you do, it gets +2/+0 until end turn. You know, nice sack outlet, get the treasure, but better ways of doing that. Another big scorer like we got last time. I always love these. Discard a card to get 2 cards and 2 treasures. You know, very good on of copying the spell. Also very good in discard decks there. So, you know, good in our red-black or Grixis ones. Marvel Boy Novar, 1 and a hybrid red-white for a 1/1 legendary Kree soldier hero with whenever another creature you control ETBs, and whenever you activate a power-up ability, you put a +1/+1 on him. Okay, you know, kind of generic there of just trying to make them a little bit bigger by putting in creatures. Okay. Blazing Crescendo, we got this one last time from our scene cards there. You make something a little bit bigger, and then you also impulse draw, which is nice there, one in a red to make something a little bit bigger, and then also get that impulse draw. Not that bad. Another Planes, same one that we had gotten last time there with Captain America and Falcon. First rare is going to be the Astonishing Spider-Man. So, this is going to be a little bit different from all the other Spider-Man that we got. This one is going to be, I think, from the Jumpstart packs. 2 and double blue-red hybrid for a 4/4 legendary Spider-Human hero with reach. Whenever Astonishing Spider-Man attacks, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. For each one you've discarded this turn. So that's also good in one of those decks that you're discarding a whole lot there, because you can draw a whole lot more than just whatever you've discarded. You could have discarded a whole lot to do certain things and play cards, and then you're like, oh, well, I want to refill my hand. So you can have it attack in, and you might have only one card, but you've already discarded like 5 other ones, so you draw 6 cards. That's not that bad. I'll certainly take that. Next up, we got Scorched Geyser, which is going to be one of our lands. Island Mountain enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basics. Not that bad of one. Getting the extended art is nice. We'll absolutely take more lands, but I believe that this is just a, reprint, but we'll always take it there. And we're also going to get, another Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Fantastic. Another one from our special artworks with the names in the backgrounds, like in Final Fantasy with the numbers. My friend loves Squirrel Girl, so I got another one. Maybe I give it to him as a present. 1 and triple green for a 4/4 legendary squirrel human hero. Do you like squirrels? When she ETBs or attacks, you create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. And for I love squirrels, you pay 1 and 3 green for an activation cost to create X 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, where X is the number of squirrels you control. Make a lot of squirrels really, really fast so that you can block that Emrock Cool in like the comics. So very, very good card there. Another good value one. I don't mind getting multiple copies of this because, like I said, I might even give it as a gift. Next up, we've got... now this is the good bonus sheet card that you want to get. I wish this one was in foil, though. If this one was in foil instead of the Monstrous Rage, it'd be so good. Simulacrum Synthesizer is from the bonus sheets of... It was like the part of the big score of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It was the only other place they've done this one, and that's the Outlaws of the Thunder Junction is the one where it's really, really expensive, and I did not get it from there. So being able to get a copy of this is really nice, and we've got kind of like the classic Iron Man, Ironmonger artwork there, which is super cool. 2 and a blue for an artifact that as this enters, you scry 2, and whenever another artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater ETBs, you get a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this token gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So you basically get what's called a construct. That is amazing. Again, I wish this one was in foil instead of the Monstrous Rage, but even getting it is so good because I did not get one in the original Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Thank you very much. Oh, that's such another good piece to get. I'll consider this, all of these other ones probably are fine, $1, $2 range. This one, I think even non-foil is still a $20 card. Like the Outlaws of Thunder Junction one is $60 for the non-foil and upwards of $100, $120 for the special foil edition there. So I'm counting this one as a mythic in all of our stuff as well. So it's we've gotten 4 mythics and 4 packs. And, we've got another one of these Black Panther art cards there for King T'Challa that we got before. And we've still got one more card in this. Man, Rubbing for Luck has done so good for these so far. So final card, drum roll, is going to be... a Foil the Vision with that special artwork there. Very nice. 4 mana for a 2/5 legendary artifact creature robot hero with flying, vigilance, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Solar Beam. Vision gains double strike until end of turn, deals some extra damage. Density control, this gains indestructible until end of turn, and technopathy, draw a card. So potentially, you cast a non-creature spell and just draw an extra card to replace it is always good, and then potentially getting some of these other ones. Sure, why not? Like, it might not be the best one there, but it's generic mana, so you can put it into a whole lot of decks there, and it's the special artwork one, so I'm absolutely thrilled to get that one as well. I don't know, like, what else is going to happen in these packs, but, like, the consistency of getting good stuff in these ones so far is better than the first one. First one might overall, like, have better value in it, but man, these packs have been so good so far. I hope that they just didn't front load all of them here, and it's like, for the second half, we're going to get, like, absolutely nothing. Okay, starting off, Iron Man. Yep, just letting them all know. Any questions from Tony Stark? 2 and a blue, instant, till end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/4, gains flying, and you draw a card. Honestly, not that bad. It's a little bit expensive for it, but it is a little bit of a cantrip. Draw a card to replace itself. Base power and toughness, so you can make something bigger. Like, you got one of these Karnstructs that you made. You can make it essentially +4/+4 and flying, and then draw a card. Sure. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We saw this one. It essentially gives Exalted. Visions of Villainy, 2 and a black, instant. Costs 1 less to cast if you control a villain. Draw 2 and lose 2. So it's like a lesser version of, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Whispers in the Dark, Whispers of Evil, something like that, where it's 1 and a black that does exactly the same thing, except you don't have to control the villain. So, common version of it there that lets you, if you got a villain, essentially play another copy for cheap. Claim the Kingdom. We got a little bit of Killmonger there. 1 and a green, enchantment plan with landfall. Whenever a land you control ETBs, put a +1/+1 on target creature you control and a plan counter on this. When the 4th plan counter is put on this, you sack it, and when you do, you put an indestructible counter on target creature you control. Honestly, again, not that bad. Get in a landfall deck, make one of your things a little bit bigger, like in the Jund one that came out in Edge of Eternities. Get your lands out really quickly there and put an indestructible counter on one of your really good pieces that let you, like, play lands from your graveyard, or on Hearthhull, that's your commander, something there to give it a little bit more survivability. Not that bad. Like, the plans, I think, are probably going to be an underrated ones. Now, they're not necessarily quick. They're not going to be CEDH worthy, but they are ones that I think are going to do very well in, like, a casual commander. Hulk Gamma Goliath, 3, a red and a green for a 6/5 legendary Gamma Berserker hero with reach and trample. Power-up abilities of other creatures you can control cost 3 less to activate. That's really cool. Make it cheaper for all power-up abilities. Power up 6, a red and a green, put 5/+1/+1s on him. Now, you don't necessarily need to do it for him. It's only 3 extra to do it from that to essentially make him an 11/10 reach trample. Not that bad, but, like, in a power-up deck there, getting that 3 less is so good. You could play some of those for free almost by having your creatures come out. One to look at for that type of, like, power-up deck. I mean, Nick Fury, is a 5-color commander, so you could do it in there. Or I think Thanos is also technically 5-color because of the effect as well. Armed Assailant, 2 and a black, 1/3, human villain with Death Touch. As long as it's equipped, it gets +2/+0 and Menace. Yeah, pretty basic. Thwip. We get another copy of those from the Spider-Man set. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying. If it's a spider, you also gain 2. Yep. Flying Octobot, also from Spider-Man there. Flying another villain ETBs. Put a +1/+1 on this. It only gets it once each turn. Kind of bland. Another Madam Hydra from that bonus sheet cards there, as we've seen it. I prefer this one over the other one that we got that I can't remember what it's called, that lets you create the villains with it there. But this one is just whenever you get whenever you cast a villain, you get the villain there. So it's nice. planes in that artwork by Sylvia Liu that I really like. It's very, very pretty, and it's very cute with Captain America giving that kid a high five. First rare is going to be Daredevil, Fearless Fighter. I am glad that we're getting some new stuff as well that we haven't really gotten much in terms of repeats, except for Fing Fang Foom so far. 2 and a red for a 3/3 legendary human hero. Whenever a source you control deals damage to you, Daredevil deals that much damage to target opponent. Okay, so you deal back anything. Whenever Daredevil attacks, exile the top card of your library. Daredevil deals damage to you equal to its mana value, and you may play it this turn. So it attacks in, you exile the top, it deals damage to you, you deal that damage to an opponent, and then you can play that card. Yeah, that's not too bad there. Not the best one, but yeah, I could definitely see myself potentially using it. Next up, we've got It's Clobbering Time from our commander decks. 2 and a green, sorcery, choose 1. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls, like our Rocky Rebuke. Or you can destroy target artifact or enchantment, like with Naturalize. And it's got rebound, so you get to play it again for free on the next turn there. Or I think it's like you copy it, something like that, and play the copy. I think you exile it, and then you cast a copy of it on the next upkeep or something like that. It's a little bit more expensive, but in like the long run, you essentially cast 2 for 1 cheaper on 1 card instead of 2. So I think it's worth it enough to play. Next up, we've got Absorbing Man and Titania, also from our... I don't think that this is it from the commander deck there? Maybe it's from the Jumpstart. I think it's probably from the Jumpstart. 3, a red, and a green for a 4/5. Or it could just be a scene card. Maybe the scene cards themselves are not in anything. But legendary human villain, double all damage that creature sources you control would deal. I mean, yeah, double all of your damage. I would certainly take that. Thank you. Again, very good in the Rurik Thar deck, red and green. Our bonusy card is going to be Seize the Day. Okay, additional combat phase. 3 and a red, sorcery, untap target creature. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase, followed by an additional main phase, flashback 2 and a red. Yeah, I'll absolutely use that. I like my extra combat steps there. I've got some ways of being able to use that, so we'll absolutely take another version of this. And we've got Daredevil on the front there, looking very menacing, having a lot of aura that he's farming, and that's not double-sided. So we get Clue and the Soldier. And for our final card, is this going to be the first one where we don't have like mythic level in it? Drum roll into Avengers Under Siege. So unfortunately, our doubling up on this one here, we did get it earlier. I think it's nice. We potentially have a couple of villain decks, maybe make one a villain deck and then have a second one like this in the what's it called? The Green Goblin. I was going to say Harry Houdini, but, that's a real person, Harry Osborn deck. So, getting another one isn't the worst thing, but it would be nice to get, non-duplicates. I mean, we did get Fing Fang Foom as a duplicate. This is a duplicate. Technically, the Squirrel Girl is as well. I don't think... sure, anything that's from the commander decks, but we can't really, stop that. But all of the other ones there that are not commander deck ones are not repeats. So so that was the first non-mythic level one, but we did get 4 mythic levels. So sure, we could have one that's not, but this is going to be the last pack of the first half. So rub that one for luck as well. We'll rub it up for luck again and hopefully get something good in this one as well. Powerful Broker. 2 and a green for a 3/3 human villain. Tap for each kind of counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. Activate only as a sorcery. Not that bad in something like the Tidus deck, where you could potentially be putting other things like flying counters, or as we saw in some of these, that with that plan that had the Killmonger on it, like an indestructible counter, being able to put additional ones on there and then the Tidus deck lets you move things around. That's not too bad, like being able to do that. Double the, not double, but, for each type of one on it, you could do that. Or you could put additional poison counters if you've done any infect onto creatures or players. You could put -1, more -1/-1 counters on one of your opponent's creatures. You could put extra stun counters on them. There's a couple of ways to work around that. Stark Industries, this is going to be our blue-red gain land. Very nice. Got the big arc reactor there. Hero in Training, 2 and a white, 2/2 human hero. ETBs, draw a card. If you control another hero, gain 2 life. Again, very basic. Quake, Agent of Shield, 2 and a white, 3/3, legendary inhuman spy hero. Seismic Takedown, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, tap target creature or land. So make your opponent, be a little bit riled up, like disrupt them a little bit. Jessica Jones, Private Eye. She also has powers like Luke Cage of being like a little bit extra strong for a human. 2 and a red, 2/3, legendary human detective hero. Tap, put a stun counter on her and exile the top X cards of your library, where X is her power. You may play those cards this turn. So, being able, it's not quite an impulse draw, but, kind of similar there. Being able to essentially get some extra cards to play every other turn is not that bad. Mach 1, Swooping Scoundrel, 1 and a black for a 1/3 legendary artifact creature human villain with flying, and when it ETBs and whenever you gain life, you surveil 1. Do this only once each turn. I mean, if you've got a black deck that is surveilling a whole lot, or not surveilling, but gaining a whole lot of life, I mean, that's not too bad. Getting through more of your deck, being able to put more things in your graveyard, sure. Wild Pack Squad, got this one before. Give 1 thing, First Strike and Vigilance at the beginning of combat each turn. Whirlwind, Killer Cyclone. Looks like they've got some sort of Iron Man suit on. 2 and a red for a 2/3 legendary mutant villain with haste. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control that entered this turn attack a player, target creature that player controls can't block this turn. So helps out with all of that haste action of play a lot of hasty creatures, make certain ones of your opponents can't block. Sure. Take Up the Shield. We got this one last time as well for our scene cards. 1 and a white instant, 1/1 on target creature. It gains indestructible and lifelink until end of turn. Nice little combat trick. And another mountain here with our Iron Man and the Captain Marvel, which we did end up getting that like Agent Coulson, which had both of them on it there. First rare is going to be Cloak and Dagger Entwined. So unfortunately, we did get this one, the last one as well. So getting a few repeats that isn't that great. 1 and a white and a black, 2/2, legendary human hero, Death Touch lifelink. ETBs, choose target opponent, and up to 1 target creature they control. The opponent reveals their hand. You can exile a non-land card from their hand or the chosen creature until this leaves the battlefield. So you get to look at their hand and then also essentially Oblivion Ring either something on the field or in their hand, which isn't too bad, but I mean, we'll be looking for other things as well. So we'll take it, but I'd prefer new things. Heart-Shaped Herb. Okay, so from our commander decks there, we got a 4 mana for an artifact. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you, you prevent 1 of that damage. So if it's multiple sources, multiple 1 instances, you can pay 2 and tap this to sack the artifact. If you do, you may sack a creature, and when you do, you return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. You become the monarch. So nice to get the monarch into play. You make a creature bigger. You put in like Lorehold or Sultai to have it. It goes to the graveyard and then you return it. So it leaves the graveyard for all those effects. You could get aristocrat stuff because you do sack a creature and also sack this artifact. So you could get double triggers on those type of things. Yeah, it's a pretty decent one. We'll absolutely take additional ones of this. We're also going to get the Serpent Society. We did see this on one of our other cards. 1, a black and a green for a 3/4 legendary human snake villain with Death Touch ward. Get 5 poison counters. Oh my. So in order to target this, your opponent has to go halfway to dying from infect. That's hilarious. Whenever another creature you controls with Death Touch dies, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature of their choice. That's so good. Like, a good one in a snake deck there, because it's like, oh yeah, you get poison counters there and have a lot of your snakes that have Death Touch. And if they, you've got your little 1/2 Death Toucher that swings in and you have it back and they block and kill something. And then they're like, well, you got to also sacrifice one of your non-token creatures. That's kind of gnarly. I like that one there. Maybe not the most extravagant or out there or even well known, but like, it's funny of making them get poison counters to target this. Fantastic card. We're also going to get for our bonus sheet, Steely Resolve. 1 and a green for an enchantment. As it ETBs, you choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type have Shroud. Okay, protect some of your extra creatures there. I don't exactly know who this one is. I don't see 10 rings on it, so I don't think it's Shang-Chi. It might be Iron Fist. I'm not entirely certain, but, it's a new one for the collection. We'll certainly take it. And not a double-sided card, so we can take a look here. Sturdy Shield, so it looks like there's probably some sort of token equipment generation there, as well as the Tiger God, which we probably get from some Black Panther effect, or maybe it's like a saga. Tiger God can't be blocked by more than one creature. I mean, that's pretty nifty too. Oh, it's also legendary. Legendary tokens are always interesting. And we've also got our final card of this pack halfway through. Is it going to be another mythic for us? Oh my goodness. 1, yes it is. 2, it's one we don't have. 3, it's a scene card. 4, it's foil. And 5, this is one of the best cards in the set here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's another good one to get. We're cooking in this one here. Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor, 3 in a red for a legendary artifact equipment with equipped worthy 1. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what equipped worthy is. So we'll have to figure out what that means somewhere else. But when Mjolnir ETBs, it deals 4 damage to up to 1 target creature. So pay 4, comes down, and deals 4 damage. Double all damage equipped creature would deal. You're doing the double damage. Equip worthy 1 and 2 in a red. Discard this card. It deals 2 damage to each creature. So a little bit of a board wipe there. Now, maybe I'm thinking of a different one there. I'm going to be right back after just checking to see what this equipped worthy is and if this is the right one that I'm thinking of. All right, so I took a peek at the regular card just to see what the actual text, the Oracle text on it would be. And so this equipped worthy, and this is the one that I thought was going to be one of the big expensive ones. It is this one, and I think it might be part of one of the scene boxes that you might be able to get. So potential of getting more, but yeah, so it is a decently expensive card, so another good one there for us to get. But equipped worthy is going to be a creature is worthy if it's a non-villain and if it's red or white. Red and or white. So you can equip it to a mono red creature, you can equip it to a mono white creature, you can equip it to a red white creature. Captain America is both red and white. A lot of copies of him have white in its coloring, so you can equip it to all of those ones there, as long as it's not a villain. So, King T'Challa could do it because he is white. Jennifer Walters could do it because she is white there. It's weird saying that King T'Challa is white, but yeah, another fantastic mythic for us to get. Oh my god, we are getting some good hits in all of these. Wow, that first half is phenomenal. So good there. Like, sure, we got some really good ones in the first box as well. This has been so consistently good. I do hope that we can get some of the Jumpstart mythics that are foil again. That would be great. There's like the Vision and Wanda. There's a Doctor Doom one. Like, those two would be the big ones to get there. There's also like some really good rare ones, like the Devil Dino, I think is like a good rare to get in the jump starts. And there's like a uncommon squirrel from probably like a Squirrel Girl one that's also really good. But we'll have to see. Crowd of True Believers, you know, all of them there cosplay. You can make one creature attacking alone a little bit bigger, and you gain you gain 1 life. Savage Land Dinosaur, 4 and double green for a 7/6 dinosaur with trample, basic land cycling 2. I'll skip it there, but it's got that Khazar. Cruel Alliance, Viper. Is this Viper? I'm not entirely sure. 2 and a black for a sorcery, teamwork 2. Exile target creature with mana value 3 or less. If this spell was cast using teamwork, instead exile target creature and gain 3. Okay, so it starts off as just exiling 1 creature 3 or less, but if you do the 2 tap for the teamwork, the restriction is lifted and you also gain 3 life. That's not necessarily bad. Exiling is pretty good there. It's not a destroy effect, it's an exile. Iron Lad Diverging Destiny, 2 and a blue 2/2 legendary artifact creature human hero with flying and vigilance. You can look at the top card of your library in time. That's nice. Tap, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an artifact, draw a card. Honestly, not that bad. You know, potentially just drawing some extra cards with it is decent. Bullseye, Death Dealer, throwing around just a whole bunch of things, always hitting on target. 2 and a hybrid black-red for a 2/3 legendary human assassin villain. When it ETBs, you can sacrifice an artifact or discard a non-land card. When you do, it deals 2 damage to any target, and you can pay 3, tap, sack an artifact or discard a non-land card to have it deal 2 damage to any target. So again, you can fuel that discarding effect there for that villain that we saw. That was the Moonstone, I think that was her name. That lets you play things up until the end of your next turn. You know, deal 2 damage to something there with the discard. Help activate up Angie Falconroth stuff. But it does cost mana to do that. So not quite what I'm looking for it. I want to be able to get the discard off for free or as, you know, an additional cost of a spell that I have. Dismissive Denial, 2 and double blue for counter target spell. Or you can do basic land cycling. Hard to tell. This looks like it might be Lady Loki. You know, a little bit of just, countering a spell. That's fine. Romantic Rendezvous from the Spider-Man set. Discard a card to draw 2 cards. Now that the discarding is not part of an additional effect, so if you copy this, you do have to discard multiple cards. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. 2 and a black for a 2/3 legendary human spy villain. Other villains you control are heroes in addition to their other types. And you can tap to have target hero you control to connive. Interesting. So you could put this in a hero deck. You could put this in a villain deck there. Well, maybe not. Yeah, you could put it in a hero deck to do the conniving, but not a lot of heroes are going to be in the black. So that's an interesting one. You could put the like Avengers Tower into that type of deck, but I mean, you couldn't cast spells from your hand. You could do the 4 mana one or no, you couldn't even do that because they're not heroes until they're on the field. That's too bad. Spider-Man to the rescue. Okay, we haven't gotten this scene card yet. 2 and a hybrid red-white for a 3/2 legendary spider-human hero with flash, vigilance, and reach, and no one dies. I think that was a quote from one of the Doctor Who doctors. When Spider-Man enters, you may tap him. When you do, another target non-attacking creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Okay. You know, save one of your things, the flash. Sure, we'll take it. And we get our nice island by Sylvia Liu with the ants and the Ant-Man coming through. Absolutely beautiful one. Very, very vibrant colors. I love this card there. Okay, first rare is going to be Return of the Mole Men, another mythic here. And this is going to be one from our jump starts. Maybe not the best one there. You know, like I said, Vision and Wanda and Doctor Doom are going to be the best ones there. But this is another mythic. So, hey, we are getting another mythic within our first one of the next pack. So yeah, we're on our way. We've got 4 here, 5. This is our 6th one, so this is our bare minimum. That's good. 1 and a green for an enchantment. Landfall. Whenever a land you control ETBs, you may mill 2. And for 5 and a green, you can sack this enchantment to create X 1/1 green minion creature tokens named Moloid, where X is the number of permanents in your graveyard. The tokens have whenever this attacks, you may mill a card. So they can keep on getting bigger as well. Or no, it's just whenever they attack, you may mill, but you've already sacrificed this artifact. Okay, it's interesting, but not nearly as good as some of the other ones. I'll certainly take it to help out with the collection there, but I had hoped for other ones, but we'll still take it. It's another mythic for us. Next up, we've got Glorious Purpose from, I believe, the Commander deck for the villains. 1 and a blue enchantment plan. Whenever a creature you control connives, you put a +1/+1 on that creature and a plan counter on this. So extra connive +1/+1s, essentially. When the 6th plan counter is put on this enchantment, you sack it. If you do, exile top 4 of your library. You may cast any number of them, any number of spells among them without paying their mana cost. The rest go into your hand. Again, honestly, not that bad. 2 mana out, connive a whole lot to get extra +1/+1s, and then you get 4 cards, potentially some of them for free. Prior to this, like if you're on 5 plan counters, you could do like a brainstorm and stack the top cards of your deck. You could, you can do a whole lot of stuff with stacking the top of your deck in blue. That's a pretty decent one. We'll absolutely take an extra one of those. And we're also going to get a MODOK Evil Intellect, also from our scene card. So more of those. We'll absolutely take that. 3 double black for a 3/5 legendary artifact creature villain with flying, and whenever you draw your 2nd card each turn, target opponent sacks a non-token creature of their choice. Now that's a good one there for drawing extra cards. Okay, so there's quite a few decks where I could see myself putting this into, so getting extra copies of this wouldn't be bad, because drawing multiple cards, not that difficult. Having an opponent then sack one of their non-token creatures, that could be good. We'll absolutely take one of those. And is this going to be our bonus sheet card? It is, I think. Yep, it's our bonus sheet card. Storm, Force of Nature. This is the I think that this is the Storm that came out in the Secret Lair deck. I thought that she was mono red because of that. No, she's Teamer. Oh, okay. Wow, that's another good one to get. I guess I'll count this one as a mythic as well. 1, a red, a green, and a blue for a 3/4 legendary mutant hero with flying and vigilance. Ceaseless Tempest. When Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or spell you cast this turn has Storm. Yeah, that definitely is it. Oh, that's so good. Let's see here. Does this one here? Nope, that one doesn't have double-sided. But yeah, getting another one of those is so good. It's probably lowering the value of the ones that you can get from the Secret Lair, but who cares? Like, I already have the ones from it. Like, they're part of my collection. I can use it. This is just another copy I can do, and she looks so badass with her mohawk. Ooh, yeah, that's sick. Get that one in as another one of our mythic slots there. So we'll count that up as, what, 7? Yep, 7. Oh, boy. And we're going to get another insect and soldier token. Okay. And our final card of the set. Can we get another mythic? Because we've gotten like 2 mythic level ones in here already. Final card is going to be Dark Fortress. Okay, so it's going to be the lands. We don't necessarily dislike that. It's going to be the alternate art in foil. Looks like we've got Hawkeye here, potentially like leading a charge in, potentially. But this is going to be, right here. Live feed body cam Hawkeye, Avenger number 7. Location, Castle Zemo. So mission, whatever, but this is going in fighting against Hydra. Okay, sure. Tap to add a colorless. Tap to add red or black. Activate only if this entered the battlefield this turn. Or if you control a basic land. Again, I think that these are going to be really good dual lands because they enter untapped. They're not the different types, so you can't search them up with fetch lands. But, being able to get them very easily not very easily, but when they come in, they already tap for things, and then all you need is one basic land for them to tap for their colors. Yeah, I think that those are going to be really good. So double mythic pack there for us that I'm going to count, and a good land as well. Yeah, keep rubbing for luck. The MODOK was good as well. I won't. And then also the plan. Yeah, that was a good pack there. Absolutely good pack. Let's keep it going. Red Room Recruit. So with Black Widow there. 1 in a black, 1/2, Human Spy Villain, ETBs, it connives. Okay. Ant-Man's Army, we got this one last time. ETBs, you get a food or a treasure. Yep. Repulsor Blast, 3 in a red, sorcery, teamwork 2. Repulsor Blast deals 5 to target creature. If it was cast using teamwork, it also deals 2 to that creature's controller. It's okay, not that great. I'd use other things instead. Falcon's Wing Harness, 1 and a blue. Artifact Equipment, equipped 2 and a blue for when it ETBs, you attach it to target creature you control. I like that they're doing that with a lot of equipments instead of like, oh, you put the equipment out there and it just sits there, does nothing. It's like, now it's you put the equipment out there and it just equips onto things automatically, and then you have to pay the cost to move it around, or if that creature dies, then you have to put it on. I think that's a really good design for these to make equipments more powerful because they were pretty underpowered. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has flying and ward 1. Yeah, a little bit of protection, a little bit of evasion, not that bad for 2 mana. Sure. Killmonger, Scourge of Wakanda. 2, a black and a green for a 3/3 legendary human mercenary villain. When it ETPs, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. Sure, yeah. You know, a little sacrifice there, a little bit of aristocrat strategy. Get rid of one non-land thing, get rid of the most dangerous thing on the board, sure. As long as there are 2 or more creature cards in your graveyard, Killmonger gets +2/+1, so then it becomes a 5/4. It's a 5/4 for 4 that kills one non-land thing on the battlefield. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good removal spell. Sure, yeah, I definitely take that in red and, not red, green and black. Sure. Wall Off, 3 and a white, instant, costs 1 less to cast for each creature your opponents control. Okay, so it could be down to 1 white. Create an 0/4 colorless wall, creature token with Defender, you gain 4 life. Honestly, not the worst thing ever for a common card, because you play it in Commander, your opponents, if each of your opponents has 1 creature, this is a 1 mana instant that gives you an 0/4 creature that you can just defend with early game and gain 4 extra life. Sure, I don't mind. Eerie Gravestone, again, the whole thing of Craven's Last Hunt type of deal. You know, ETBs, draw a card, you can sack it to mill some cards and put a creature from them into your hand. Big Bertha, probably from our Jumpstart packs, X and green. Next spell, okay, we got that in Primo, in Zimone. 1/1 legendary mutant hero with vigilance. It enters with X +1/+1s on her, and you can pay 1 and a green to tap her to put a +1/+1 on her. Okay, you know, pretty generic. Red Hulk, we got this one last time as well. 4 double red, 6/7 legendary Gamma Berserker villain, reach and trample in our scene cards here, but it has Enrage, so you can put it into your like dinosaur deck theming there. It's got 7 toughness, so it'll survive a whole lot. When it is dealt damage, you put a +1/+1 on him, and then when you do, he deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1s on him to another target. So, you know, if you've got ways to proliferate those tokens or double them or get more out of onto them there, you know, that would be really good. You can put him in that Rurkthar big Stampy deck there. And we're also going to get our Swamp for our land. I like this one too because it's really purple there. And first rare is going to be, yes, Doctor Strange Surgeon. Doctor Strange being my favorite character. Now, this isn't going to be his, like, Sorcerer Supreme version, but still, I will take Dr. Stephen Strange. 4 and a white, 2/5 legendary human doctor hero with lifelink. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead, so he's a Rock's Faith Mender. Fantastic. At the beginning of each combat, if you have at least 10 more life than your starting life total, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until end of turn. That's so good. You can put this and Rock Faith Mender in the same deck and you get ×4 the amount of life gain. Oh yeah. And then this also gives extra stuff. Yeah. I will absolutely take this for my life gain decks. Absolutely. Give me, like, Yeah, sure. You made another good version of Stephen Strange that I want to play. Please, thank you. We're also going to get a Glacier Fortress. Okay, another land. It's a reprint there. Enters tapped unless you have a plains or island. Taps for white or blue. Always good to get extra of these lands there. We'll absolutely take that. We've just got, a celestial corpse that they're just living in. Sure, why not? Next up, we got the Superhero Civil War. So I think this is, what the Captain America Civil War movie was based off of, because we see here the Captain America and Iron Man facing off. 3, a red and a white for when it ETBs, you gain control of up to 2 target creatures with mana value 6 or less, with total mana value 6 or less, for as long as this saga remains on the battlefield. Then on the first upkeep, creatures you control get +1/+1 in vigilance until end of turn. And before it sacks, target creature you control fights up to 1 other target creature. So you could have the creature that you gain control fight something on your opponent's field that would make it die as well as the other creatures, so that you get rid of multiple things. And then when goes away, they don't get their thing back. Sure, yeah, I'll absolutely take that. And it sounds pretty nifty. We're also going to get concerted effort from our bonus sheet. 2 double white for an enchantment. Beginning of each upkeep, creatures you control gain flying until end of turn if a creature you control has flying. And the same is true for fear, first strike, double strike, land walk, protection, trample, and vigilance. Now this is a bit of an older card because of that whole land walk there and fear. Those are a couple of ones that aren't used anymore. They don't make those abilities anymore. Protection is a little bit on the outs as well. They haven't really made a whole lot of the cards that have that, but sure, yeah. And it looks like we got old Fantastic Four artwork, because we got the Thing, we've got Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, and the Human Torch. Sure, yeah, we'll absolutely take that. Do we have a double-sided card? No, we don't, so we'll be able to look at the tokens. I'll certainly take that. That's an interesting one. Probably hasn't been printed in a while because of those effects there. But we got the robot villain that we saw some of the Ultron type of cards make, and then a hero. Okay, I can't remember what makes that, but yeah. New token is always good to get. And drum roll, because we didn't get a mythic level thing in this one yet, but we've already gotten an extra one. But it'd also be good to get one here too, maybe. Oh, not a mythic, but we did get another one of our special name cards here in foil. Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. 2 and a blue for a 1/4 legendary mutant inhuman hero with vigilance and reach. Okay, so she can attack in and she can block things with flying. You have no max hand size, get it? Because she's got big hands in this artwork. Haha, it's funny. It's funny. And Big Fist, whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, you draw a card. Okay, until in a turn, Miss Marvel's base power is equal to the number of cards in your hand. Okay, so you have a lot of cards in your hand, you can make her really, really big. Have a lot of extra base power. Sure, yeah, I dig it there. Not the most impressive, but still a unique one there. Draw a lot of cards, you could potentially do it. Sure, I'll take an extra one of those. All right, 4 more packs. We're 2/3 of the way through. Rub for luck, because it's been helping us so far. We've gotten some really good cards. I'd like to keep on getting a couple more really good ones, or at least just some cool ones. Hour of Defeat. We've got Killmonger defeating Black Panther in this version here, like they did in the movie, just not in the costume. 3 and a black instant, destroy target creature, then you surveil 1. A little bit too expensive for a kill spell there, so we'll pass on that. Take up the shield. This is the regular version, not the scene version of it. So it looks like in the previous one it was Cap with Falcon, and same thing here. It's Falcon and Cap, but Falcon has the one with the shield in it. So sure, we'll take the other artwork of it since we didn't have it. Raft Security Officer. So this is I think the Raft we also saw at the end of Civil War and whatnot there, where, they were storing up all of the superheroes that betrayed the, United States or whatever. 1 and a white, 1/3 human soldier. 2 and tap this to tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate if it targets a creature with power 3 or less, because the more powerful they are, easier it is for them to get out. I get it. Night Nurse, Healer of Heroes. Okay. I guess this is a hero. I mean, doctors and nurses themselves are heroes, but like, I've never heard of Night Nurse. 1 and a white, 2/1 legendary human doctor hero with flash. Okay. Flash is always good. Lifelink. When it ETBs, choose target permanent in your graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn, return it to your hand. Okay, so flash in for 2 and you bring something back that you might need. That's not too bad. Doc Samson, Super Psychiatrist. Huh. Doc Samson. I mean, it says he's a gamma doctor, so maybe, I mean, it definitely looks like he's related to Bruce Banner some way. 4 and a green, 3/6, legendary gamma doctor hero. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, put that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent instead. I mean, that's not too bad there. Again, with a lot of those +1/+1 counter decks. Tap to add X mana of any one color where X is its power. Sure, yeah, you know, you put them on this. Oh, it's a hardened scales effect. Yeah. Hardened scales effect on this, and then it's also a mana dork that at its base gives you 3 mana for 5. Yeah, this is a good uncommon. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Thank you. Beast Mode, 1 and a green for an instant teamwork 1. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Also put a +1/+1 on it if this was cast using teamwork. And this looks like it's with that Spider-Ham universe there of Avengers, because it looks like we see him there. We've got some sort of Hulk bunny and maybe Hawkeye chicken or something, and like a Captain America, a Captain America, maybe. But you know, kind of similar to Giant Growth there, but, you know, a little bit extra work for it, so that's why it's common, not quite as good. Spider-Gwen, Free Spirit from the Spider-Man sets, becomes tapped. You can discard a card if you do draw a card. They're, you know, good in, like, crew or station type of deal, because you get that easy. Bob, Reluctant Hydra Agent, so looks like some sort of comic relief character. 1 in a black, 2/2 legendary human coward villain. That's nice. It's a coward. Whenever Bob attacks alone, return him to his owner's hand. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Honestly, not that bad. Could be, you know, it's pretty decent just for 1 in a black. We get to play him again really cheap. Another one from that same one. Oh, this might be the same one that has that, the other 2 Hydra agents. Baron Strucker, Hydra Overlord, 2 in a black, legendary human villain. Villain spells cost 1 less to cast, so, you know, really good. Get that reduction. Whenever another villain you control ETBs, you may have it connive. You know, that's pretty good as well. Absolutely, we'll take more of those, because we can use it in both, like, the Harry Osborn as well as just a generic villain deck as well. We got the Sylvia Lou Forest with the She-Hulk on it. You know, very nice artwork on that as well. Up next for our rare, we got Heroic Feast. So this is another we've gotten this copy before. I think it was kind of decent. 2 and a green enchantment. ETBs, you get a food token. Whenever you gain life, choose up to that many target creatures you control. You put a +1/+1 on each of them. Again, you know, gain a lot of life, make things bigger. Sure, you know, it's a pretty decent one to have amongst them. Oh, there we go. We get another one of our mythics there, but this one is going to be from the commander deck. So, you know, we could put him in other things if we want to. Blue, a red, and a white. Now, again, notice it's not red, white, and blue. For a 2/4 legendary human spy hero. Hero spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you attack, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal a hero card from among them. Put that into your hand. Rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you could potentially have him as a commander. And, you know, you got a Captain America one as well. So, you know, you've got multiple different ones that you can use for there. You know, we'll count it as a mythic. It's not going to be the greatest one, but it'll help our, you know, numbers there, since, you know, we've got these 6. So now we've got an 8. I do hope that we get more in our packs there. That'd be great. Next up, we've got Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So this is going to be the comic book version of the one that we got before that was like with these names on it there. That's really nice, being able to get another one of these copies. Because again, this is a 5-color commander with all of those. You can put this in a hero, you could put it in a power-up deck, and then, have this version of Nick Fury in there as well to make your heroes cost less. That's an option. 1 mana for a 2/1 legendary human spy hero with power-up, 1 of each color to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Then you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a hero, equipment, or vehicle card from among them onto the battlefield. If it's double-face card, you may transform it, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So basically, it's like, oh, you get T'Challa. Well, instead of playing it on this side, because it's a double-face card, you transform it into Black Panther, so you get that version instead. Yeah, I think that's pretty good in these sort of transform decks and ones that have the power-up mechanics there because of all of the different colors that you're going to be getting for it. Honestly, yeah, I think it's pretty good. And up next, we get another Escape to the Wilds. Now, unfortunately, we did get this one in a foil last time, and, this is a reprint from, what is that one there? Throne of Eldraine. It's not all that great anymore there. It's okay, but it's a little bit too expensive now, and we've already gotten a copy, so it's not that great. No double-sided card there, so we can take this tactical teamwork, team tactics there off to the side, and we're down to our final card. Now, we did get another mythic there, but it'd be great if this one was too, right? Drum roll for luck, and an arc reactor. Okay, so another duplicate that we got, same artwork there. This time it's just in foil. It's all right. It's a 5-mana artifact with improvise, so you can tap down artifacts to make it cheaper to cast. It comes into play tapped, but it's essentially like a Thran Dynamo of being able to tap it for 3 mana. It's decent. It's not fantastic in any sense there, but I'll take another version just in case I want to put it into other artifact decks because we can use it. I think that there are some artifacts that, or something that's like, like your artifacts or whatever come into play untapped or something like that. But let's keep on rumming for luck since we've been getting a whole lot of mythics here now. Maybe not the same level as mythics as the first, as the original ones, but we still have gotten some interesting cards. It's okay to get duplicates as long as we got alternate arts. And it looks like, because we see this thing here, that looks like the Leviathan from the token. So that's my guess. 5 and double blue. Now, that's expensive for a sorcery with Teamwork 4. That's a lot to tap down. Choose one. If this was cast using Teamwork, get both. Target player gets a 6/5 blue Leviathan creature token with hexproof. We were right. Or return 1 or 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Again, not bad effects. It's just really expensive for that. Bernan Zana Plaza. It's going to be our green-white gain land. Okay, we'll take that. We haven't gotten that yet. Giant Growth with Giant Man, not Ant-Man. So I guess that's going to be in standard now, Giant Growth. So hit really hard with that one too, sure. We'll get another artwork of that. Kang, Temporal Tyrant, 2, a blue and a black, 3/4, legendary human villain. When it attacks, he connives. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's kind of decent in this blue and black. That we also have that Modoc that makes them sack something. Sure, we can make something work with that. Shield Helicarrier, 4 for a 4/5 artifact vehicle with crew 6. It's a big crew cost. Flying, when it ETBs, you get 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Honestly, not really worth it there. That's not a really good vehicle. I'm going to pass on that. Big Wheel. Okay. 2 and a red for a 4/4 artifact vehicle, crew cost of 2 with trample. When ETBs, you can discard a card if you do draw a card. I mean, tapping down 2 for a 4/4 creature, not the worst thing with trample, but probably won't end up using it. Pumpkin Bombardment, again from the Spider-Man set, as well as from the scene cards. as an additional cost, you either have to pay 2 or discard a card, deal 3 to target creature there. So a little bit of a lightning bolt effect in either black or red. Got to discard a card, so you get that effect there of helping out Angie Falconwrath or Harry Osborn. Not Harry Osborn, Norman Osborn. I kept on saying Harry. Sudden Strike, 1 and a white. I think this one is also from the Spider-Man deck. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. Yep. The Thing, Ben Grimm. Now, we did get this one already for our scene cards. We're looking again for Invisible Woman or Human Torch, but it is kind of decent. 5 and a green, 7/7 legendary human hero with trample. Whenever one or more heroes you control deal damage to a player, you put 2+1/+1s on it. It gets a little bit bigger there for you, but and it can do it for yourself because it's not other heroes, it's just hero, so it can put it on itself. Get another island with all of that artwork of them saving the Magic School Bus. First rare is going to be the Clone Saga. So, unfortunately, getting something that we got in the Spider-Man sets, I didn't really want to get this. That's a bit unfortunate of a placement. We got a bunch of these in the Spider-Man set, but I guess we're getting more. I mean, in order to complete out the jump starts, I guess we got to get this one as well, but I wish we got it in just the jump start and not this. 3 and a blue for an Enchantment Saga, ETBs or Surveil 3. Then on the first upkeep, when you next cast a creature spell this turn, copy it, except it's not a legendary. I do like that effect there, getting an extra copy for a big creature potentially. And then on the turn, right before you sacrifice this for your upkeep, choose a card name. Whenever a creature with a chosen name deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw a card. So the one that you got, the clone, you attack in, potentially hit them with both, and you get 2 cards there. Again, wish it was something else. Gilded Lotus, okay, that's going to be from our commander deck for T'Challa, a decent one to be able to get. Extended art, we got that nice Lotus made out of vibranium there. If you look really closely, it's got like the little nanite fibers on it there. A pretty one. 5 mana for an artifact that taps for 3 mana of any one color. I mean, that's why, sure, Arc Reactor, you can improvise to make it cheaper, but this one here, it's like you pay the 5, it enters untapped, and then you can use the 3 right away. So that's why I like this one better. And it's also 3 of any one color, so it's not just colorless. Also going to be up there, Final Showdown, and I do feel extra ones in here, so we might have a second bonus sheet card maybe, or something special in this. I'm not entirely sure. Final Showdown, 1 white for an instant with Spree. So this was a mythic in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, so this might be its first reprint. Add for 1 additional mana off of the white. All creatures lose all abilities until end of turn. Add an additional mana, choose a creature you control, it gains indestructible until end of turn, or you can add 3 and double white to destroy all creatures. So it's a way for you to potentially remove indestructible or anything like that that would prevent it from being destroyed, so that you can essentially then do a Wrath of God effect on it there as a mass removal. You can also make one of your things survive it there. I think it's a pretty decent one. It might not be the best mythic from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, but it is its first reprint, and it is going to be something new for our collection, so I absolutely will take it. Okay, so I just made sure none of those were double-sided. We've got food, and there's that Leviathan again, so we got that one in. But we do have 2 left, and generally the bonus sheet card is the last thing that we get before our final card, so is this going to be a foil bonus sheet card maybe? Oh, nope, we just got 2 bonus sheet cards. We got Path to Exile with Captain America in front of like an American flag with the red coming off is turning into blood. But yeah, a good one there. White, not as good as Swords to Plowshares, but we'll still take Path to Exile. 1 white for an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller may search its library search their library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Not that bad. We'll certainly take that one there. Again, new artwork, one that we don't have, added in for the collection. Absolutely will take it. And our bonus sheet, not bonus sheet, our final card of the pack is going to be... Oh, goodness, that is one of the best ones I think that you can get in this. I think that it's like only Doctor Doom and Thanos in these art styles that is better to get. Oh my god, we are cooking. We are getting so fed in this one here. Oh, fantastic. Now, we haven't gotten the regular version of this, but this is going to be our, oh my goodness, our comic book. I'm a little bit stun-locked here. Die Avengers Die. And seeing we got Iron Man, we've got the Vision, we've got Thor. I can't really tell who this one is here, but it looks like we've got also Black Panther. Maybe that's the guy that's right there, and two of our other ones. Oh my god, this is so good. Ultron, Artificial Malevolence. What a name. 3 generic mana for a 2/4 legendary artifact creature robot villain. Whenever another non-token artifact you control ETBs, you may pay 2 additional mana. If you do, you create a token that's a copy of it. If that token isn't a creature, it becomes a 2/2 robot villain creature in addition to its other types. So like the tokens that we saw before that I'm not sure if I'll be able to find really quickly here or not. Where did they go? Here we go. So it'll become this in addition to its other types there. I mean, honestly, fantastic. Pay 2 additional mana and you get to copy your best creatures there. So you have something like we had before with, I mean, you could do it with the Gilded Lotus. You pay 2 additional mana at 7 mana and you get 2 of these. Now, one of them can't tap for mana right away. It's essentially like the Arc Reactor, but you could do the Arc Reactor, you know, pay double. You could make, let's see here, you create a token there. Unfortunately, you can't do it with anything legendary because it'll bring it out, so you can't do like Vision or whatnot there, but or MODOK. You could get another heart-shaped herb there, but the Metalwork Colossus, you know, if you get it to, you know, all of your non-creature artifacts, you know, make this really, really cheap, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's free to play. You can pay 2 additional mana to get a second one out there. This is such a good card, and we got its special artwork. Oh my goodness. We got that along with the King T'Challa one. These packs are so good. We got this and this. You could, that's the thing. You get double up on Simulacrum Synthesizer if you want to with Ultron out. You know, get 2 of these, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, get to Scry 2, you get to Scry 2 again. And then you do the, whenever another artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater enters, which could be Ultron if you do it. You get the Construct, and it's just like, oh, but yeah, you know, you play other ones like Gilded Lotus or Arc Reactor in there to get that ones. You double it up, and because they're copies of them, they have the same mana value as well. So it's like, oh, well, yeah, they also are mana value 3 or greater because it's just when they enter. It's not when you cast them. Oh my god, Ultron is so good. If it's not blue, so you can't play the Simulacrum Synthesizer in it. It can't be your commander with that, but god, that's such a good one to be able to put with it. I'm going to probably guess that, you know, like, we got Namor and the Bruce Banner, but it's just like these one, like, all of these are so good. Like, these are probably not worth all that much there, but it's like, we got these 4, which are good. This could be decent. I'm not sure, but we got, you know, Storm and the Simulacrum Synthesizer too. Oh my goodness, we got 2 packs left. This is our penultimate pack. God, that would have been such a good one for the last pack. I mean, if we got a Mind Stone, like, it's like no contest. Like, these are so good. Like, it's gotten to the point where I got an extra collector box of Lorwyn Eclipse because I like it. I've been getting so lucky with these Marvel superheroes. I might get a second Marvel superhero collector booster box. That's how good this is. Oh my gosh. Another volcanic villain there. We got it last time. It's just got a mild power up. Just puts 2+1/+1s on it and gets haste. Asgardian Citadel. red, white, gain land to power, make them a little bit smaller. If it's an attacking creature, costs a little less, draw a card. Speedball, new warrior, and it looks like he's got a little cat with him. Nice. 2 and a hybrid blue-red for a 2/2 legendary human hero. Whenever a player casts a spell that targets Speedball, he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You may choose new targets for that spell. Okay, so they can't really get rid of him because they if they target him, you choose new targets for that spell. Interesting. So if you have like a way to make him unblockable or something with like a Whisper Silk Cloak or something like that, no, you got to do it where it just gives them unblockable. You have to do it with like an equipment or something because it can't be an instant or sorcery because you choose new targets for it. But it's also in the vein of like, you could be like, oh, you know, like I play Lightning Bolt to target Speedball. He gets the +2/+2. Then you choose new targets for the spell. So you're like, oh, then I choose something else. That's actually a pretty interesting one. I could see a deck made around this as well. I mean, yeah, I might think about that. This is a weird one that might be a cool little, like, what would you call it there? Like a budget commander. Hercules, Prince of Power, 2 and a green, 3/3 legendary demigod warrior hero, another demigod for us. Power up, 4 and a green to put a +1/+1 on him. He gains vigilance, indestructible, and haste until end of turn. So yeah, essentially paying 2 extra mana, and he gets indestructible and haste. Sure. Another Grape Shot. Okay, we'll certainly take that with our Scarlet Witch artwork. Mob Lookout from our Spider-Man set, ETBs, target creature connives, Ultron's Auxiliary, 1 and a black, 1/1 artifact creature robot villain with menace. Whenever another artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, or an artifact card is put in your graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 on this. Okay, you know, you got a lot of sacrificing of like treasure tokens or foods or clues or whatnot. That's good for it. Another Avengers Tower from our scene box. Again, we're going to get a lot of repeats because there's only so many of these ones here. My guess is probably Invisible Woman and Human Torch are probably like rares, and that's why we're not getting them. Oh, there we are with our Sylvia Lou artwork with Tony Stark. So I think we've gotten all of them. Yeah, we got all of them in this box as well. Fantastic. I wanted multiples of those. First rare is going to be Avengers Disassembled. 1 and double red for a sorcery. Choose one or both. It deals 3 damage to each creature and or destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land, put it on battlefield, tap, then shuffle. I believe we got an alternate artwork of this, so we did not get this version. So yeah, you know, that's a good one to get. And Furycom Snarl, okay, not the best land to get, but we'll take Snarls as well. ETBs, you can reveal a mountain or plains from your hand. If you don't, the center's tapped. Can be a red or white. Sure, you know, we'll take extra lands. It's not the best one, though. Oh, my gosh. Well, we got one of the like name versions of Tony Stark. Now we're getting one of these alternate arts of it. Now this isn't the super fancy one like these, because these always come in foil, but this is another alternate version of it. And again, I can play this in other decks. Tony Stark, 1 and a blue for a 1/3 legendary human artificer hero with 1 and tap. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them, put it in your hand, rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order, and you can pay 4, a blue and a red to either transform Tony Stark as a sorcery or play him as the Invincible Iron Man for 4, a blue and a red for a 5/5 legendary artifact creature human hero with flying and haste. Beginning of combat on your turn, you can put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. If it's an equipment, you may attach it. If it's an equipment, attach it to the Invincible Iron Man, make him a little bit bigger. And this is going to be part of a scene card, much like our Jennifer Waller's is, you know, probably is on both there as well as here as well. Fantastic. Yeah, I will absolutely take more Tony Starks. That's another mythic for our collection. Oh boy, we are eating so well with it. It's like it's awesome when I'm like, oh yes, you know, this really good Tony Stark card might be the worst mythic that, like, the lowest cost mythic that we've gotten amongst the ones that we've already gotten. Like 6 in just the general spots, not counting the 2 here and then the 2 that I'm counting over here. Oh my gosh. Namor the Submariner. This was the other one that we got of this special comic book artwork. So, I mean, if we could get that artwork for him, that would be great. Okay, none of those are double-faced, so we'll put this off to the side. We got 2 cards left, our bonus sheet, as well as 1 more regular card. Bonus sheet is going to be War Leader's Call, which I think is something to do with Aurelia from Ravnica. 1, a red and a white enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Little anthem effect. Whenever a creature you control ETBs, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, just kind of a nice one there of if you've got a lot of creatures ETB with like tokens or whatnot, that's a pretty good one to be able to put them out. Sure, yeah, I definitely see the deck where that can go. And our final card is going to be World War Hulk. Okay, so we got that one before, but this is going to be the comic book version as well as a foil of it, which we'll absolutely take more artworks, especially the alternate artworks, since they're going to be harder to get in the like general packs, the play boosters. So yeah, again, 3 double green. Next red or green creature spell you cast this turn can be cast without paying its mana cost. Then next upkeep, you put 3 +1/+1s on 1 creature you control. Second upkeep, before you sack this, you choose a creature you control. It gets double strike. Not double strike. It doubles its power and toughness, and it gains trample. Yeah, we'll absolutely take that. Thank you for the alternate artwork. Thank you for the Ultron, and thank you for the Tony Stark. I know the Ultron wasn't from this pack, but still thank you for that. Gosh, the first one that we did of this, I did the calculations up. You probably saw in the last one, it was like $550 there, so it was net positive there. A lot of the ones that we've gotten recently for collector boxes have not been net positive. I think that this one, you'll probably see on it there. My guess is this one could be getting close to $600. I know that we didn't get a Molecule Man in this one, but we did get this Simulacrum synthesizer, which I guess could be similar to the whole Wolverine that we got, but like the Ultron is good. We'll go over it in a minute, but this is our final pack. Rubbing it for good luck. Come on, give us one more cool thing. It doesn't even have to be a mythic, just give us one cool thing. Fisk Tower for Wilson Fisk. The Kingpin, our gain land for white and black. Kree Sentinel, 4 and a red, 5/5 artifact creature, Kree robot villain with a reach and basic land cycling 2. Again, pretty bland. Brave Brawler, we saw this one before. It's just a life linker with power up, put 2 +1/+1s on it. We're going to pass on that. Hawkeye, Young Avenger. This looks like Hawkeye's daughter, maybe. 3 and a red for a 2/4 legendary human archer hero with reach. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent opponent controls instead, it deals that much damage plus X, where X is Hawkeye's power. Now that's pretty good. Be able to put this into something like my Nekusar deck where it's, each time they draw a card, they lose 1 life, but you get this one out there and they lose 1 life for each card plus whatever power is, which it doesn't gain any power in that deck, but an additional 2. So you get this out there and it's like, oh yes, they're taking 3 for each card. Then you get something like Keteric Parasite out there, which deals 1 damage as well. You get Scrawling Crawler out there, which also deals that 1, but then gets this as well. This is a impactful card as well. I'm glad to get that one. The Masters of Evil with Baron Zemo, 5 and a black, 5/6 legendary human villain. Other villains you control get +2/+1. Okay, a little bit of villain kindred effects there. 1 and a black, discard this card, search your library for a plan, reveal it, put in your hand, then shuffle. I mean, that's pretty good. You're playing like a Grixis villain deck there. You can either get this to pump your villains or get a nice plan like that Loki plan that we saw. That's pretty good. Another fantastic bounce there. Costs 2 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Can't use this as an instant to save one of your things, so it's not that great. Deadly Dispute, we saw this one as well. Additional cost to cast it, sack an artifact or creature. Draw 2, then you gain a treasure token. Similar to Big Score, it's cheaper there. It's just in black. As Guardian Inspiration, we got the Lady Thor, 1 red for a sorcery. Exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you may pay 2. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, yeah, that's pretty decent. Get essentially an extra card draw with this. Deal non-combat damage with something like Torwaki or something. Pay 2 mana, you get this back, and you can be like, oh yeah, I'm playing top card of my library again. Cool. Hulk Smash, we got this one last time as well. 1 in a red, teamwork 4, choose 1. If teamwork was cast, you get to choose both instead. Destroy target non-creature artifact, or target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Honestly, pretty good because of that 1 in a red. Teamwork 4 is a little bit expensive, but it's still 1 in a red to get rid of an artifact and a creature. I would take that. And our land is going to be another Sylvia Lou Swamp. Okay. I like the purple, but still it's the one that I'm like, I don't exactly know what's happening in it. First rare of the last pack. Super Adaptoid, something new. That's nice. 2 mana for a star 2 legendary artifact creature robot villain. Looks like they're fighting Captain America and Thor there. Super Adaptoid's power is equal to the number of legendary creatures you control. So Super Frenzy type deck. Oh, there's also Thor, and it looks like he's holding Mjolnir or something. So interesting. And I can't really tell who's zapping him there. Maybe like Captain Marvel or something. Whenever Super Adaptoid enters or attacks, choose another target creature. If that creature has haste and Super Adaptoid doesn't, put a haste counter on this. Do the same for flying, first strike, double strike, death touch, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. Okay, so you get a lot of different legendary creatures with different abilities on them. They're different keyword abilities, and either attacks or enters, you can start adding them onto it. Okay, that's pretty nifty. We'll certainly take that. Oh, currency converter. Now that one hasn't been printed too much, so I think that's a decent one to get here. I think it doesn't go infinite, but I think it's part of a combo. 1 mana for an artifact. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile it from your graveyard. You can pay 2 and tap to draw a card, then discard a card. Tap, you can put a card exiled with this artifact into your graveyard. If it's a land, you create a treasure. If it's a non-land, you get a 2/2 black rogue creature token. Yeah, it's fine. Good to have more for the collection. And what do we have left? We've got 3 cards left. Okay. Up next, we've got Quicksilver Brash Blur from the regular set, not the blue-red one from the Commander deck. This is 1 red for a 1/1 legendary mutant hero. If this is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with him on the battlefield. That is interesting. So a lot like our ley lines there. That's kind of cool. It's a hasty 1/1 there, so you can attack in right away. Power up 4 in a red, put a +1/+1 and a double strike counter on him. Okay, yeah. I think that's an interesting one to do it. I mean, being able to get it in right away. I would feel like this is a decent one to have maybe a copy or 2 in like a red beatdown deck, because having it out right away, even if you're on the play, you could be like, oh yes, have this out, attack in, and you have a red mana to be able to potentially play something else. Sure, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good one. Oh, and we got the Storm. We got the Wolverine. I don't remember if we got I think we got the Black Panther one as well. I don't think we got the Iron Man, but this is the Captain America that was from the Secret Lair. Ooh, that's a good one there. Is this double-faced? No, it is not. And our art card is the Sylvia Lou Swamp. That's pretty cool that she got an art card. But Captain America from the Commander deck there, getting another one of him and getting it foil is really good, because I think that he was one of the better ones to get in those because of his unique effects there. Again, red, white, and blue Commander. He's a red, white, and blue for a 4/4 legendary human soldier hero with throw. You can pay 3 mana and unattach an equipment from Captain America. He deals damage equal to that equipment's mana value divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets because he bounces it around. And catch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. So your upkeep or pre-combat main phase, you pay the 3 mana to have it go out, deal the damage, and then go into combat equipped in the thing again. That is a very good one to get. I'm counting this again as another one of our mythics there amongst these ones that we can get, because these other ones are probably, decent to mediocre in terms of the values, but those ones should be really good. Ooh, that's a good one to have in the last pack as well. And we have one last card. Is it going to be as cool as that Captain America? I hope so. Come on, come on, come on. Final card of our boxes. This is end of box 2. I don't know if we're at $600 yet. It would be great if we were. If this puts it over, that's even better. And we've got Multiversal Incursion, one last mythic to finish it all. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. It might not be the best, I don't know, but it's got Doctor Strange on it, so it's already got my heart. 5 and double blue, sorcery. For each non-token creature you control, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, again, legendary creatures, certain legendary creatures are that way because they don't want you to get those effects multiple times. Having multiple copies of all of your creatures is so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I will absolutely take that. We are cooking in all of our stuff here. Oh my goodness. Let's start the recap here because we got some good stuff. We got in our rare slots, 2 name rare heroes that are in foil. We got a foil of our alternate art land. We got a foil alternate art of the Arc Reactor, foil alternate art of the World War Hulk, an alternate art of the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., another Heroic Feast, a Superhero Civil War, Serpent Society, which I think is cool, duplicate of Cloak and Dagger Entwine, a duplicate of Squirrel Girl, but she is a very decent one, so I am glad to get her there. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the original World War Hulk, we got another Fing Fang Foom there. We got 2 Avengers Under Siege, same artwork, 1 foil, 1 not. I wish that at least one of them had been the original artwork, but hey, with everything else we got, it's good. I think we got the alternate art of the Avengers Disassembled, so getting another, like the regular artwork is fine. Super Adaptoid looks pretty cool with getting all of those counters on it. Now, the big thing about this is if we have enough legendary creatures in that Tidus deck that have those sorts of abilities, we could start copying these ability counters and putting them onto other creatures, which is really cool, including the indestructible counters. That's nice. Quicksilver, I think, is going to be good in maybe not in modern and all of that stuff there, but I think at least in standard, it's probably going to be pretty good. And from these, Currency Converter, I think, is good. Fury Come Snarl, not the best land, but it is a land. Gilded Lotus, always decent to get. Clone Saga, probably my least favorite one to get among these. Glacial Fortress I'll take. Doctor Strange, absolutely. MODOK looks good. Another Glorious Purpose looks great. Another Heart-Shaped Herb. Absorbing Mana Titania look great with doubling the damage. Clobbering Time is fine. Daredevil looks interesting. Scorched Geyser, that's a land. Astonishing Spider-Man is good with discards. Metalwork Colossus, another one of those is good. Grim Reaper Scythe, I think I can use. Hulk Always Angry looks pretty interesting. Another Winter Soldier is good. Galvanic Iteration for the duplicates is nice. And for these, we got War Leader's Call, Anthem Effect, Path to Exile Removal, Final Showdown, Mass Board Wipe, Escape to the Wild, extra cards to play, extra lands to play. Concerted Effort looks interesting with... what is it? Beginning of your upkeep, creatures you control gain flying until end of turn if a creature has flying. Yeah, so the giving all of your stuff the keywords is cool. Steely Resolve, giving creature types Shroud is nice. Use the day extra combat step, fight to the death, destroy blocking and blocked creatures. Foil Monstrous Rage, probably the weakest one that we had there. Actually, no, I think Escape to the Wild, since it's non-foil's weakest, but those were the two that we got multiple copies of, like they were duplicates from the first box. Black Panther's Redirection foil is nice, and we got both Storm and Captain America, which are reprints of the the Secret Lair ones, and we got the super good Simulacrum synthesizer, which we didn't get originally in the Owl of Thunder Dungeon, so that's great. We got Director Nick Fury from the Commander deck and Return of the Moleman from the Jumpstart packs. I wish we had gotten the Doctor Doom or the Vision and Wanda instead, but we can't complain when in the middle we've got another Tony Stark double-sided card for our Nick Fury. We've got a Cosmic Cube that lets us play free stuff from our deck for attacking, Multiversal Incursion, getting duplicates of all of our creatures. We got Mjolnir, awesome card that deals extra damage, doubles damage of equipped creature, and the big thing about that, it's double all damage. So if it deals non-combat damage, like Nekusar, like Torwaki, it doubles that damage as well, so that's fantastic. We got Jennifer Walters, the double-sided She-Hulk, which is also a really good one. And then finishing off, we got our big ones there, is going to be the King T'Challa double-sided comic book artwork for Black Panther. And then most importantly, we got the Ultron Artificial Malevolence comic book art. My goodness, look at those. We got so lucky in these. I am hoping that we got a whole lot of value for that. That's so good. I wish you a lot of luck with whatever it is you're up to, because with this and the luck that I got in my fake Grand Order stuff, something's going on here at the beginning of July that's just given me a lot. Maybe it's because I'm going into my busy season at work. Who knows? But we got some good stuff. So thanks for joining me on this one. Good luck to you. I wish whatever it is that you are up to, you finish quickly and efficiently and it comes out great. I look forward to having you on another one of these. Who knows, with how good the luck is with these, how good these cards are. Like I said, I might get a third box of these and do it at some point. I'll look forward to you coming back on another one, whether it's that or something else. But please take care of yourself until then. Have a good afternoon, evening, or night. I'll see you then.